Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. I hope that today's show should be very interesting and enlightening. It took me quite a bit to put the show together today, but it was to acknowledge two beautiful young ladies in the world of sports. Um, but before I get to that, let me just get some things straight to let you know that today's show is being brought to you by uh, Jazz Aphrodite presents the power presentations. I would have put powerful presentations with PPT because that's the kind of work she does. So it learned how to make dynamic presentations, materials with less words. Tuesday, September the 19th, next week. It's a 6-week course. So please register at the bottom of the screen, jazzaphrodite.com, jazzaphrodite.com. And in fact, she's going to be my guest on Monday so she can go into details to tell you why you need to be in the house, no question. Um, Today is uh, Wednesday. It is September 13th. This I got straight. I will do it. But before I start, this is Live with Lloyd, with the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. So please like, share, and subscribe. As the Williams family say in Chicago, my man Locke, who was born April 9th, and other people that helps me encourage you to put a thumbs up. All right. And I will not, whether Lloyd with Lloyd or Lloyd Strahan, will never DM you for money. If you get one of those, it's a fake. Yeah, you heard it here first. It's a fake. I don't do that. But anyway, the sun is in Virgo. The moon is in Virgo. Actually, technically, it's supposed to be a new moon tomorrow. But anytime the moon and the sun are in the same sign, that I consider a new moon. Mercury's still retrograde until Friday. It's a 7 universal month, a 9 universal week, 11 universal day. And so for those that are Leos, Cancers, Aquarians, and Geminis, or if they're born on the 2nd, the 4th, the 13th, the 11th or 13th, the 20th, 22nd, 29th, or 31st, this should be an interesting day for them, or should have been, since we are past that. All right, so let me do this a second, folks, before I start. Um, when I do these every year, when I do a forecast, and I explained since the beginning of the year, late last year, that this is the year of the 2023. So each number not only rules birth dates, but it also rules zodiac signs. So the signs that go to the head of the class this year are Pisces and Cancers, or by date, if you're born on the 2nd or the 11th, excuse me, the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, the 29th of the month, then this is your year. So I was, and let me say in all honesty, I'm not a sports person at all. Had I not by accident come across this event, I wouldn't have never heard of this young lady. But I did have the good fortune of looking into it and checking it. And then, so naturally, I'm going to look up her birthday because listen, she just kicked Wimbledon tennis. You know what I'm saying? She put a hurt on them. So I says, I wonder what her birthday is. Sure enough, she's a Pisces. About a week and a half before that, Simone Biles, that I've heard of, also kicked butt. She broke the eighth record. I don't think no gymnast all around has ever broken 8 records. They've been 7, but no one has broken 8 until this sister did. And so what I found out, they're both Pisces. So Coco Guaff is born on March the 13th, and Simone Biles is born on March 14th. They're really a day apart. So they're both water signs with air numbers. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to show you what I've done, which kind of gets into this a little bit. And I want to take this is an image by from Getty Pictures, and this is Coco Gauff receiving her trophy for winning the Wimbledon title for 2023. And um, I've actually got a kind of description. Let me tell you how I did it. What I did was, first of all, let me do this. I'm going to play for you um, the excerpt from when she received the trophy. I want you to pay careful attention when she got to the end, and which is why that stood out for me. So we're going to go here. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Let me go over here a second. And I'm going to play this for you. And so see for yourself. Okay. I'm going to start right now.
Embrace with your mom and dad. They've been with you through thick and thin. Your brothers are back at home. Your grandmother. What message do you have for all of them?
Can I take the mic for this?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. God. Well, thank you first to my parents. Today was the first time I've ever seen my dad cry. He doesn't want me to tell you all that, but he got caught in 4K. You know, he thinks he's so hard, but you know, it's not. So thank you guys. I mean, you believed in me from the beginning. I've been coming to this tournament. My dad took me to this tournament, sitting right there watching Venus and Serena compete. So it's really incredible to be on this stage. And obviously, huge thank you to my team, Stefan, Brad. Oh, yeah, Stefan's here. Oh, my God, he's here. Stefan, Brad, Para, Jameer, and Maria, thank you so much for all that you guys have done for me. I know that it's been a long 3 weeks, long month, but you guys your faith has never wavered on me. And
one day, you might realize it's time to switch things up. And that's what being a member is all about. Because when you're with Amex, it's never a question of if you'll make it happen. It's when.
You're lucky. Watching live sports never used to be this easy. Running up and down that field looks tough.
It's a pitch.
Get way more into what you're into when you stream on the Xfinity 10G network.
And everybody in that box right there, thank you so much. A lot of you guys, I didn't know you were coming, so this is a surprise to see you there.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 is so good, the crew is giving every combination code names.
I got that sauce biscuit and some Tay-Tays.
Eggman and Saucy Boy. 2 hot coffees.
No matter what you call it, Wendy's breakfast is that breakfast. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
And I want to thank my grandparents who are home and my brothers. I could FaceTime my brother right after, but he didn't answer. But then he called, and then he called me later, but I had to go. So thank you to those who are watching. And then the last couple things I want to say, honestly, thank you to the people who didn't believe in me. I mean, like a month ago, I won a 500 title, and people said I would stop at that. 2 weeks ago, I won a 1,000 title, and people were saying that was the biggest it was going to get. So 3 weeks later, I'm here with this trophy right now. You know, I've tried my best to carry this with grace, and I've been doing my best. So honestly, to those who thought who were putting water on my fire, you're really adding gas to it. And now I'm really burning so bright right now. And last but not least, thank you to New York. Thank you to you guys. You guys pulled me through this fire. The supporters that have mean so much to me. So thank you all. And thank you to everyone who made this tournament possible, especially you, Stacey. You put on an incredible tournament.
Okay, everybody. What I like was, first of all, she gave acknowledgement to her father, her family also. You know, it's interesting because Venus and Serena Williams also gave acknowledgement to their fathers. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that fathers play a very, very important role in the life of especially girls. You know, we guys think it's just the boys. We know we yoke around the neck and come here, but it is really, really a very important role. So what I'm saying is that, you know, no matter what the family structure is or how things are crazy nowadays with the way families seem to be broken up, get the fathers involved with the girls. It makes a big, big difference. But anyway, let me explain numerically what I did, because I did some research. Okay, so here we go. What I did was I put up, before I even went to do the research, I did her name, Coco Golf. It added to 20, her first name. I'm using the Chaldean system, by the way. Her last name added to an 8. So 2 plus 8 is 10, which is 1. Now, 1 is a leadership number. One's a very determined. Not only that, but see, when you look closer, she has the 3 repeated more than any other number. 3 is ruled by the element of fire. When you, and I always tell a person, when you tell a person who's a number 3 or got a lot of 3s in their name or their birthday, they can't do this or they can't do that, that only makes them rise to the occasion. So what I did was I listened to the press conference, and she talked to her boyfriend up until 1 o'clock in the morning, and the day before, the day of the game. Okay, that's how she was into it. But she also mentioned the fact that she was looking at all the people that doubted her, all the text messages, all the DMs that came and said she couldn't do it. And all that did was put fire up under her, and you see the rest is history. But her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 3. Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays are her best days, and her best months are always on a February, March, July, August, and December. And in my book, on page 162, I have important changes in your life. Now, when I say changes of important ages and years, it could be good fortune, births, pregnancy, separations, marriage, new love, graduations, new jobs, promotions, legacies, trips, residence, accidents, health. It's a lot of events that take place in a person's life. So what I did before I did the background on her, in other words, reading about her in either Google or Wikipedia, I put all of the ages that were very important. If you notice, I started with ages 10, 12, 13. Why? Because all those numbers add up to her key numbers. Age 10, that adds up to a 1. Age 12 adds up to a 3. Age 13 adds up to a 4. Then 19, 21, 22, etc. I just stopped at 40. Okay. Then I put also the years of important changes, such as 2008. Why? That adds to 10. 2011. Why? 2010. Why? That adds to a 3. 2011 adds to 4. 2017 adds to a 10. So what I did after I did that, then I went and did the research, and I underscored and highlighted those things. So she made her World Tour, I guess World Tennis Association Tour debut was in March of 2019. So if you notice, I have 2019 as one of her years of important changes, and I also have the month of March as one of her months. At age 10, and you notice that's the first age I came out with an academy in France. And in fact, the gentleman who the academy is named after was a longtime coach of Serena Williams, which is interesting. Coco won the U.S. Tennis Association clay court nationals, becoming the youngest to win the tournament in history at age 10. That's the first age I got on there. And let me say this, every single one of you who is viewing this, you all have important ages and years of important changes in your life, and I'm going to demonstrate that later on. At 12, you see 12 is one of the ages. She made to the semifinals. At 13, she began playing on the ITF. I'm not familiar with all these sports things, skipping directly to the highest levels of grades, A and B. She made her junior Grand Slam in the debut at 2017. You see, that's a year I have listed, okay? In 2019, another year I have listed, she became the youngest player in history to qualify for the main draw. She beat Venus Williams in that year. In 2020, if you notice, that's another year I have. That adds up to a 4. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 4. She ranked number 67, which is 13, and she's born on the 13th day of the month, which is 4. And in that 2020, in the Australian Open, she won 3 straight Grand Slams, including defeating Venus Williams. So in 2023, she won the U.S. Open in New York, becoming the first African-American teenager to win the U.S. Open since Serena Williams in 1999. Now that adds to 28, which adds to 10, that adds to 1. And in fact, at age 19, she won this. And you see, I have that age there. So Imagine what she's going to do at 21, 22, 28, 30. You know what I'm saying? She'll probably be eclipsing Venus and Serena Williams sisters. But the nice thing is she won $3 million, which is her number. So I just wanted to kind of bring that out. I thought that was interesting. Now there's so much more to them because there was so much more to take a look at. And so for those for inspiration, uh, there are 3 books that were written by Coco. The first one is here. It's the book Coco Golf Tennis Champion, and this is for ages 7 to 11. So if you got somebody sitting in your living room with potentials and they got this, they between 7 and 11 years old, get this book. Also, she wrote another book, and this one was from ages 2 to 11. And this was her second book that she wrote. And then finally, her last book. All these books are available on Amazon. All you got to do is type in her name and order the books for your youngsters and whatnot. And then this one is Coco Golf, the inspiring story of one of tennis rising stars. Yes, she is. Okay. And anytime you beat the Williams sisters, that's saying something. And she was a teenager at the time, too. All righty. So then I got that straight. Now I want to take another person, which is this beautiful lady, Simone Biles. There was so much on her, I had to stop. But I want to let you know she's a Pisces. She's born on March the 14th, 1978. And this is an image taken from CNN, by the way. So y'all know. And what happens is when I do her birthday, let's take a look at hers. Okay. Now this is her chart, numerically speaking. All right. I did her name. It's Simone Biles. Simone adds to 24, which is a 6. Biles adds to 14, which is a 5. 6 plus 5 is 11, which is a master number. She's born on March the 14th of 1997. So when I add the numbers down, add it across, she has a 7 life path, 7 destinies, 7 birth path. These are all interchangeable words I teach my students, but because I talk to clients that may not understand the jargon in numerology, I'll say simply she's in the 7th grade in the school of life. So on one hand, very outgoing, but on the other hand, very, very private. Her key numbers are the 5, 6, and 3. Her best days are always on a Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. Her key months are always in March, May, June, September, October, and December. And this is what I put down. The ages of important changes. And for some reason, I went ages to 5. And if you notice, 5, 6, and 3, all these dates, all these ages add up to like the 14th, 1 plus 4 is 5. The 15th, 1 plus 5 is 6. The 21st, 2 plus 1 is 3. The 23rd, 2 plus 3 is 5. The 24th, 2 plus 4 is 6. The 30th, etc. Then I put down the years. Why? Because 2001 adds up to a 3. 2003 adds up to a 5. 2004 adds up to a 6, and so on. I stopped at 2026. So, first of all, when I did the highlight, she's the most decorated gymnast in the history of the gymnastic world. Championships and considered the greatest of all times. She was born the 3rd child. There's her 3 out of 4. And in 2003, you'll see I got that listed as a year. Simone was adopted by her maternal grandfather at age 6. And you see the important age was 6 years old. Simone first tried gymnastics at age 6 during a daycare trip, believe it or not. And she began her elite career at 14. And if you see, 14 is one of the ages of important changes I have. And if you look at it in 2012, which is a year I also have listed down as a year of important changes, she switched from public school to homeschool. And in fact, what's interesting about Simone and Coco being the same, Coco also switched from the public school to homeschool. So there's a lot to be said about homeschool children, okay? And they tend to do very, very well. That same year, her first meet was the American Classics in Texas, where she placed first in all around. She duplicated this exact same feat in the U.S. Classics in Chicago. Her senior international debut at the American Cup was in March of 2013. There's March, and you see the year I have 2013 because that adds up to a 6. in 2013, she also became the first African-American woman to win the World All-Around title. And for those of you who don't know, she's now married. But in 2022, that's the year I got, you'll see right there at the end, she became engaged. And on the 15th, that's also a date I have listed too, to Jonathan Owens, a football player for the Green Bay Packers, I believe. And his birthday is July 22nd of 1995, which has the 24, which is the 6th. And then they married earlier this year in April 22nd of 2023. All right, so I did that, and there's something I just want to, okay, let me take this off the screen a second. So all this was, I mean, I'm not a sports person, but just going through some of this, there was such a level of achievement with these two young ladies, both Pisces, and this being the year of Pisces and Cancer, and anybody born on a date that adds to a 2 or a 7. All righty. So, by the way, let me show you a list of her achievements. I mean, I ran out. This is a list of achievements. Okay. And as you see, I'll work backwards at 2023 all-around balance and beam and floor exercise champion and uneven bars, bronze medalist. 3 years before, she won the Olympic silver medal and balance beam bronze medalist and stuff all the way down, okay, until 2013. And you see that ends in one of her years that I mentioned. But here is the thing, okay? So we're talking about achievement, but now let's talk about what is called the superlatives, okay? And this is what I'm saying, okay? Now, if you look at the superlatives, I'm going to read much of it so you can get an understanding of how dynamic we are as a people, how dynamic we are when we have focus. So she is the most decorated U.S. woman gymnast ever with 32 World Olympic medals. Her 7 Olympic medals tied for the most by a U.S. gymnast. She's an 8-time U.S. all-around champion from the years that are listed below. And notice it started in one of the years I put on her years of important changes, 2013. She's a 6-time U.S. vault champion. She's a 6-time U.S. balance, 6-time U.S. floor exercise champion. She holds the most U.S. titles in history. Overall, 27, all around 8, and all around is 8. In vault is 6 ties, balance is 6, and floor exercise is 6. She's won 25 medals, 19 of them gold, 3 silver, 3 bronze, which is the most in gymnastic history. Her 19 world gold medals is the most ever in gymnastic history. She's the first woman, black or white, to win 5 world all-around titles. Notice 2013, the year it started. The first woman to win 3 world balance beam titles. The first woman to win 5 world floor exercise titles. Her 4 2016 Olympic gold medal tied the Olympic record for a female gymnast in a single games. Her 5 2016 Olympic medals tied for the most by U.S. gymnasts in a single game. She was the first woman to win 4 gold medals at the single world championship in 2014 since the Soviet Union's young lady did it in 1974. And I'm not talking about the awards. Now, if I had focused and took the awards too, I was just like, my neck was a little stiff trying to go through all of this. But what I'm trying to tell you is the dynamite and influential of these young sisters, okay? Do not underestimate us. We've been underestimated in a lot of ways, but when it comes to records, whether it's in the world of music, sports, wherever the area or the arena we have had the equal playing field or reign, we have just excelled far beyond anything. So that's why I read all those superlatives to let you know that if you got a young man or a young daughter in your home that you think got gifts, get them out there and you bring out the greatness in them, because all of us and you have some kind of greatness. And speaking of that, she also wrote a book, Simone Biles. Her first one was an audio book. All right. And this was from ages, I think 8 to about 11. And then she wrote a second book, and this was from ages 6 to 9 years old. So if you got a youngster that likes to kind of like, balance themselves or do little flips and stuff around, they might be another Simone Biles. If you got a child that wants to like to hit that ball and chase the ball, you might have another Coco Guaff in your midst. Okay, you never know. But we're so distracted with TV and this, that, and the other. I'm just saying we need to focus on our babies. All right. This one here, this is her third book. This one is from ages 8 to 12. And it is called Simone Biles, Olympic Gymnast. And of course, her last book, and there will be more. This is her last book, The Courage to Soar, A Body in Motion, A Life in Balance. Okay. So she's just turned 26 and she's married and she seems happily married too. And I'm glad for her because that adds a balance to her life also. So that is my take in honoring these two young sisters, these two Pisces. You can take what you want. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go and get your birthdays, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about your important years and ages of important changes. Here's what I mean. There's some people who can remember what ages were very significant for them. And then there are other people who can remember what years were very important for them. Then you got that rare person that can tell the age and the year when it's going at the same time. So everybody's got their rhythm. So you have to decide what you remember most, the age in which something happened or the years in which something happened. So what I'm going to do is do this, but in my book, Numbers in You, on page 162, I go back, but it was updated, and that's what I did in the audiobook. I updated it because some of those I stopped. I was in 1960s and whatnot. I went to the 1990s, maybe early 2000, but I brought that up to date in my audiobook, Numbers in You. All righty. So now I'm going to get to people who, okay, let's see. Oh, and by the way, I had no control. I had no control over those ads. What's happening when I reviewed it today, it went straight through until I went to stop. I ain't talking about ads because, you know, it is a Google product, YouTube product, whatever. And so they're going to run their ads and whatnot. So I'm just saying. But anyway, in between there, don't lose point of what she was saying, especially toward the end, that she gave credit to the disbelievers. See, if you understood a Pisces or understand a 3, one of the things about 3s, and 1-3 is averaging the name, both she and Simone Biles, because Simone took a hiatus and then came back. Okay. She had what they call in gymnastics, the twisties. The twisties mean you kind of lose a sense of twirling and balancing in the air, but she came back strong and kicked butt. All right. So what I'm saying is that these are the things, and she has 3 3s. The worst thing to tell a person with a lot of 3s in their name, again, or born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, 30th of the month, or Pisces and Sagittarius, that you can't do this and can't do that. Oftentimes, I'll tell a 3 person, if you look at some of the things you've accomplished, it's been as a result of somebody says, you can't do this and you can't do that. And they roll up their shirts and says, you watch what I'm going to do. All right. So I'm telling you, so before you challenge somebody about making sure they're not going to do something, make sure they ain't got no 3s in their name or born on a 3 or Pisces or Sagittarius. That way you don't get your feelings hurt. Okay. But it will inspire them to be the best at what they do. So I'm going to kind of start back from the beginning. I'm going to take as many as possible. I do want to thank my moderator today, Empress Rel. She is just great. She lost her mama about a couple of weeks ago, so I gave condolences to her. She's a beautiful Aquarius 4 person. And it's interesting, today is the 13th, by the way. And to definitely Mr. and Mrs. Stephen and Carol Williams in Chicago. They have been supporting me from out the gate, okay? So I give props to them. So now let me go to some birthdays and I'll show you what I mean. Good evening, Stephanie Butler. Okay, here we go. Now this is Coco, right? So now I can tell her she's a Virgo. I hope it's a lady, a Virgo. I don't know why I assume it is. She's born on the 15th. 1 + 5 is 6. She's also born in 1986, which is a 24, which is a 6. Her numbers are the 6, 5, and 9. So here's what I would say to her. There were important changes that took place in your life around ages 5, 6, 9, 14, 15, 18, 23, 24, 27. Then I would also go to 32, 33, 36. Why? Because all of those ages added up to her key numbers, which is in this case the 5, the 6, and the 9. Then I can take the years. I can say, well, the year, so she was born in 1986. I could say, well, back in 1994, 95, 1998, because that year added to a 5. That the next year, 1995 added to a 6, 1998 added to a 9. Then I could go into the 200s, like 203, 204, 207. Then, you know what I'm saying? And I can go all the way on into eons, but all these things will be important. So bringing you current, that tells me that one of yours was at 2021, year 2022, coming up 2025, then 2030, 2031. I can go on. All I got to do is wait for these years to come. At some point, either significant age or significant year will bring about important changes in your life. But anyway, this particular year for you, you're getting your act together. You're in a full personal year. You got a birthday coming up on Friday, so I'll be one of the first to wish you happy birthday. Okay, enjoy yourself. But you are making some major changes because next year is the year of the 5 for you. The following year is the year of the 6. So I would hitch my wagon for you, and it would be very similar. And what I do when I talk about the future, I'll go to the past. So in your case, things are going to develop like it did in the fall of 2014 and the 2015, 2016. Why? Because her personal year in 2015 was a 5, and in 2016, it was a 6. So that's how it goes. All right. So anyway, thank you very, very much for that, Coco. All righty. All right. Let's see who else we got here. This is Nasha Jones. She said she would like a general reading. Now, she's a Virgo too. She just had a birthday. So happy belated birthday to you a couple of days back. Now, she's a Virgo 1 person. So that means her numbers are the 1, 4, and 5. So what I would do is I would tell her probably at 5 years old, 10 years old, 13 and 14 years old, at 19 years old, at 20, 22, 23, at 28. Why? Because all those numbers I just named add up to a single digit of either a 1 or a 4 or a 5. Then I can even go into her years. So since she was born in 1989, I could say, well, the year 1994, 95 was very important for you. No, excuse me. The year of 1993, 94 was very important. Then I can go to the year 2008. Then I can go to 2011, 2012, and all these numbers add up. And then I can project it way into the future. I mean, I could keep going, And what's so funny with my clients is this. When I used to do this, right? And I'll stop at an age, they look at me like, is that when I'm supposed to make a transition? No, I just stopped. That's all it is. I'm not trying to put the whammy on nobody. I don't have that right. But I noticed that I would always get that response. If I go up the years and I'll stop at that year, there's a kind of like a question mark, like, what does that mean? Can we go further? Yeah, I could go all the way to the 22nd century if that's the case. But the point is, I just stop at a certain point. All right. So anyway, it tells me this year you have been in a year where you've been making adjustments. It's interesting. You happen to be in a pregnancy cycle too, Nasha, which what I mean is you don't have to be pregnant, but symbolically give birth to an idea, a plan, an enterprise, an endeavor, a project, a goal, objective, whatever the case may be. All righty. So that's it. And also in the 8th cycle year, which you're in, because how I did it was I took the month and day you're born, September the 10th, and added to, instead of the year you were born, I added it to the present year, 2023, which adds up to an 8. And normally in an 8th cycle, people do a lot of growing up. They come of age and whatnot. Yes, you've grown, but philosophically, you kind of look at the world different too. All righty. So let me skip down to the new ones. This is Lisa. Lisa, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. She's born on April 2nd. So her numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So I can say, well, around 6 and 7, 11, 15, and 16, 20, 24, 25. Why? Because all those years that I just mentioned either added up to a 2 or a 6 or a 7. Or I can go into the year. Now, she says she's born in 1993. So I could go to the year, like, say, I'll start at 2004, 2005, 2009, 2021. In other words, as long as I should say 2013, 2014, then 2018, because that had 2011. But in other words, I can take you all the way up as long, and all you got to do is once you know your key numbers, add up the year to see if it add up to one of your digits. That's it. And it will tell you at either that age or either that year, something significant should have happened. Graduated from school, got married, got divorced, had a baby, moved into a house, moved into another city. Every one of us got different milestones. That's why the world isn't boring, because what I'm into one, another person may need to a whole completely different thing. All right. And by the way, your best days are always on Mondays and Fridays, and your best months are always in the months of March, May, July, and October. And you're very sensitive. You need a hug twice a day, and you have a sensitive tummy too. Okay. All right. Now this is, let me see. Oh, now let me see. How come I'm not getting Jelena? Okay. This is Jelena. Okay. She says she's born on the 23rd. No, her husband is born on the 23rd and she's born on the 25th. So what do they have in common? They're both Sagittarians, which are fire signs. Okay. Active, energetic, proactive, a lot of activities and whatnot. Your husband is the more outgoing, Jelena, than you. His numbers add up to 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. Yours add up to 25, and 2 plus 5 is 7. Well, 23 people or 5 are very active. They're very energetic. It's ruled by the element of air. So it tells me it's very active all over the place. And in fact, I'm willing to bet you, Jelena, he met you in some event because he's born on the 23rd day. That's one of the luckiest birthdays to be born on in the 5 series. It tells me they always know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. So that's how he may have met you, got his job, found a place where you'll live, things like that. Well, you happen to be a little laid back, nothing personal, because you got to be true to your numbers. 7s are normally very reserved, they're very low key, but it tells me you're also very, very independent in your way of thinking and doing. And if they catch you on a bad day, you can go there and be real sarcastic and hurt their feelings, although they won't realize until later on when they think about it. But after the fact, when it settles in, it's like, wow, was she trying to tell us something? Okay. So his key numbers, your husband's, are the 5, 6, and 3. Your numbers are the 7, 2, and 3. What does that mean? 3 is the common denominator between the both of you. Therefore, Thursday is the best day. So I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't meet or met him or went out on your first date a late Wednesday into Thursday or Thursday going into Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all didn't meet between the periods of late February into March, which rules the period of the 3, or late November around your birthday, of late November into December, which also rules the period of the 3, or that y'all got married in the year of the 3. Like, let me say 2019, for example, because you're born 1994. 2019, for example, no, 2019 is the year that adds up to a 3. So little things like that. So I have no idea, but I know 3 is a common denominator between the both of you. So y'all are both Sagittarians, and the years are personal too, because your husband is in a 5 personal year coming up, and you are in a 7 personal year coming up, according to some of my metaphysical colleagues. But for me, you've already been in a 5 of your husband, which means he's ready to make a change. And for you, you're already in a 7 personal year, which means you're ready to kind of stay under the radar, not be bothered with a lot of people, a lot of knuckleheads, just be left alone. But anyway, thank you so much for that too. All right. So everybody, please press the like buttons. They emphasize the likes. I don't know why that is. I'm just a messenger. They say press the likes. The Williams say press the likes. My moderators say press the like. So press the like is free. Okay. Let's see. This is Sun Flame. Now, Sun Flame, their birthday is June the 27th. So they are a Cancer 9 person. So sometimes it'll be kind of conflictual in the sense that Cancer is water, and 9 is fire. So that means all depending on what day of the week you catch her on. And she was born at 4:16 a.m., which means her sun was probably in the second house. Let me see, 4 to 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. No, her sun is in her sun. When you do your chart, your sun is in the first house, okay? The house of personality. But anyway, so 9, 6, and 3 are your numbers. So it tells me that if things are very important for you at age 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, etc., etc. Then I can go to the year that was important too, since you were born in 1989. I could go to the year of 2004, 2007, go to the year 2010, go to year 2000. As long as these years and ages is matching your key numbers, which is either the 3, 6, or 9, in some way, that age or in some year in that year, it was very significant and one of the many milestones that we all go through in life. But I tell you this, you don't take orders well, and you tend to attract men in uniform. I noticed with number 9 women, they either they like guys in uniform and the guys like them. So I would jokingly say in your case that if you having a bad hair day, just walk past a construction site, you will get somebody's attention up in that piece. Okay. So anyway, that's what I am seeing. All right. And thank you very, very much for that sun flame. Okay. And notice she said sun, which is ruled by fire, which is the birthday. All right. So now let me do this. I go back, I go forth and stuff like that. And again, I thank Empress Rel. Why not use the Pythagorean system? I do. When I teach a course, and let me explain why. And I think this is a great question, added touch. The Pythagorean system is so easy to remember. So if a person is a novice, then I'll get them so when I teach in colleges or schools or whatever the case is, even in my online courses, initially, I start off with the Pythagorean system. It goes from 1 to 9. All you got to do is write the numbers from 1 to 9, fill in the alphabets. A is under 1, all the way to I. Then you go to the second row, start with J, carried all the way to the second row of 9, which is S. And then you start with T. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that. The point is, and then it's also easy to associate. That is modern numerology. When I read a person, I'm using mystic or ancient numerology, which is coming from the Chaldean system. That's the 1 to 8. So that confuses people, and that's a little bit more challenging. So for people who are naturally gifted like this, like Jazz Aphrodite, King Simon, Brother Rebels Bay, Brandon Smith, and a couple other people that I know and associate with, they eventually go into the Chaldean system. And here's the difference too. The Pythagorean school of thought says you must take the name you were born with. So let's say you got 4 or 5 names on your birth certificate. That means when you're doing your name, you're supposed to take every single name on that birth certificate. Under the Chaldean system, though, it says you take the name you're most known by. So yes, when we're children, we have several names on the birth certificate. When we become adults, we normally become known as what? A first and last name only, which is why I use the Chaldean system. So thanks for bringing that up. That was great. That was great added touch. Just got the book. I'll tune in to page 162 now. Now, that's a little, don't forget, I wrote this back in 97, but in my audiobook, I updated the ages. I mean, the ages stayed the same, but I had to update some of the years to keep present with what is going on. But thank you. That's a great, great question, added touch. I really like that. I hope that explains a lot to people too. All right, so let's see. Okay, now she says she has a $5 billion contract with a shoe company. I don't know anyone in history who's got that, not even Oprah that young age. I think she's referring to a Guaff. Yes, because Simone Biles don't be doing no floor dances and no sneakers. Okay, so it's got to be Coco Guaff. But in the case, that's nice. I'm very happy for her. And let me tell you this, folks, the way my mother taught me, she said the beauty of when your folks don't have much education, they got a lot of common sense up in this piece. She says you want for other people what you want for yourself. So let's say you say, wow, man, she's got a $5 billion contract. Why she got that? I should have had that. Well, you blocking your own blessings. Wish her well, because don't you want to receive some blessings too? It's simple. I always want for other people the best. That has always been my motto. That has always been my attitude. I'm going to wish you well. Why? Because I want to be blessed. The things we do have a boomerang effect. For boomerang, if you don't know, you throw it out there and it'll come right back to you. And if you're not prepared to catch it, it'll hit you in your face. Okay. So what I'm saying is just a very simple law of attraction, that what you put out there is what you draw back to you. So I'm very happy for the sister. I am more than happy. And I wish she gets all the blessings in the world. In fact, she gave her boyfriend credit for motivating her to win the Wimbledon the other day. Okay. She said they talked to 1 a.m. So God bless that brother. I'm telling you, ladies, this modern thing about women don't need no man, you're going to get your feelings hurt. Trust me. We all need each other. We are supposed to be family. That's why this is the Live with Lloyd family. That's what I call it. For that sense of we all support each other. You know, you can't do everything by yourself. All these things I've accomplished, you think I accomplished it all by myself, all Lloyd Strayhorn? Not hardly. But it took people involved, from King Simon that put me on the StreamYard, to Jackie that put me on the online courses and put my website together. I'm telling you, y'all need to take that PowerPoint. If y'all don't take that PowerPoint, and it's a 6-week course, the woman don't play. So what I'm saying is, if you want to be professional and whatnot, do that. In fact, I'm thinking myself, believe it or not, of starting a very private, very limited class, a master class for those that want to make this a career like I did. Now, if you think you're going to get it overnight, just say water, instant gratification, that's not happening. You're going to have to put in the work. But if you put in the work, you will get the results. I've gotten the results, and I can testify to it because of what I've been able to accomplish. So for those of you who wish to pursue this as a career, just drop me a hint. If there's enough interest, I'll follow it up and actually do that. But it's only going to be very, very limited. There ain't going to be a whole bunch of people up in there to cause a lot of confusion. I want to teach those that are very earnest in making this a professional career like me. The only difference is when I got it, I had nobody to turn to other than books. That's why I got a ton of books in my home, because they became my teachers. Well, I can become your teacher too, to show you how to do it, how to make money, how to survive. And all my students that have been on the shows and whatnot, they will tell you they're prepared that if they go to any part of this planet Earth with the knowledge they have gained and learned, and then they've done things on their own, which I teach all my students too, they can survive. All they got to do is get somebody to speak the language. But if you're born on some month, day, and year, they got your number. Let there be no question. All right. So if for those of you who are interested in wanting to maybe join my masterclass, because the idea came to me over a conversation, please write to astar8llc@gmail.com. That's ASTAR8llc@gmail.com. I'll get in touch with you, and I'll see if there's some interest. And if so, I'll move forward with it, which should be shortly after that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. This is Roosevelt Rocco. Can they get a read? Yes, you can. They're born July the 24th of 1975. Okay. Now, their numbers are the 6, the 2, and the 7. Now, that means that their best days are on a Friday first, followed by a Monday. But if I was to look at their age, I could start when they were 6 years old, 7, 11, 15, 16, 20, 24, 25, 29, 33, 34, 38. In other words, as long as those ages are adding up to a 2 or a 6 or a 7, one of those ages was very significant. Graduated, married, had your first baby, whatever the case is. Then I can go to the years. So since he was born in 1975, I could say, well, 1982, 1986, 1987, then 1987, then 1992, 1995, 1996, 19, I can just call the ages from their past all the way to the present and the future. I can go as long as I, can hold my breath. So what I'm saying is these are the things you need to know. So look at your years, your ages, your numbers, or as the young lady said, she had a copy of my book. On page 162, you'll see ages and years of important changes. And I have noticed that some people can remember their years and some people can remember their ages. And then some people are blessed to do both. I'm trying to figure out which one do I remember. Anyway, I'll work on that later on too. Anyway, okay. Somebody said they would love to see her natal chart. I will get that information for you. I will make sure because they've got so much on her. She just knocked it out the ballpark. Okay. And at 19, how many 19-year-olds are getting a check for 3 million? Not 3,000, not 300,000, 3 million. And then if the lady who said it was correctly, she's got a $5 billion shoe contract. She's got books on. And by the way, she's got t-shirts too. Did I do that? I didn't put that on there. But she's got t-shirts called Coco. And her first and last name, but two of them are just Coco. You know who it is when you say Coco. All righty. So I'm very happy for her. And yes, Stephen, you're absolutely right. The numbers don't lie. They don't lie. And what I do is people think I'm very good at this. Yes, that's true. But I've learned to understand the language, metaphysical language of numbers and what they mean. And then I've learned how to interpret them. And that's what I would do in a master class for those that are interested in wanting to make this a career, make this a living. I'll do that for you. I mean, I struggle. I really struggle, but I had no help. I had no resources. When I was coming up, people walk around the astrology, numerology books in brown paper bags. Okay. That's how that was. You know, it was like, shh. Okay. So nowadays, numerology, astrology is all over. You can Google it. They tell your birthday, your number, all this, that, and the other. So what I'm saying is I will have a way from my vast years of experience of doing this to help you get in that direction if that's where you wish to go. Because I'm not going to be the only numerologist on the planet, nor the Jackies and the Brandons and the Simons and the Rebels Bay. There are going to be other numerologists that will come after us. And so if you want to get your dibs in and make your contribution in the metaphysical world, write me a letter at astar8llc@gmail.com. That's ASTAR, the number 8, LLC@gmail.com. And I'll get back to you. All right. And it's only going to be limited. It's going to be 7 to 10. Ain't going to be no more than that. Only the serious need apply. That's how I'll put it. Only the serious need to apply. Because this, I make it entertaining because of the nature of me being on radio and television. And it's a kind of entertainment format medium. But this, I am dead earnest about this. This is why I wrote the books. Okay. And people will then begin to see when they read the book, like, yo, this is serious. Yes, it is. I just make it simple for this kind of format, this kind of presentation. All right. Anyway, enough of that. TJ, my man, how you doing? He is born October the 15th. He's a 6, and thank you so much for the donation. Now, his numbers are the 6, because he's October the 6th, so his numbers are the 6, 3, and 9. So that tells me when he was age 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42. I mean, as long as I'm adding his ages, which is a 3 or 6 or 9, got it. Then I can go back to his years, okay? And I'll start with the 1982. Nope, excuse me. 1983, 1986, 1989, 1992, 1995, 1998. You know what I'm saying? As long, and then I get into the 2000s, like 2001, 2004, 2007. What I'm trying to do is demonstrate the simplicity of this once you really understand how it works. It's simple when you know. It took me forever. So what I'm saying is my goal for those of you that share this platform on the Live with Lloyd family or whatever, to demystify that which seem incredibly complicated, which in fact is incredibly simple. You just have to apply yourself. For those of you who are not going to apply yourself, well, what can I tell you? But if you're ready to dig in and get serious about it and see how this works, definitely. Now, this is my man right here. This is my April 9th person. He always said $9.99. Thanks, buddy. Said appreciate teaching numerology. He's moving in a different part of life, but he would be forever appreciate the information you give. I love it. Now, let me tell you, I read him. I thought it was a woman. The brother got me straight, and we've been cool ever since then. He is April the 9th. So he's an Aries 9 person. So his numbers are 9, 6, and 3. So just like TJ, I know that things were very important for him at 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. I'm 42, 45. He may not be there yet. But the point is he'll get there eventually anyway. Or I'll go back to the years. I forgot the year he was born, but I'll start with the late 90s, like 1998, 2001, 2004, 2007, 2010. You know what I'm saying? 2013, 2016. Why? Because all of those years I just named added to the single digit of either a 3 or a 6 or a 9. So do your numbers when you find that out. If not, pick up a copy of my book on page 162, and it'll get you started and show you. Because does Chill Out likes remember his ages or remember his years? But I know this. I know he's an Aries. My dad was an Aries. I got a lot of respect for Aries. A lot of my heroes are Aries. Jack Johnson, Paul Robeson. I ain't gonna get into all my heroes because anyway. But the point is that, and my dad, can't leave my dad out. That's my first hero. So anyway, Brother Chilla, I appreciate it very much. And thank you so much for the donation. And that's how that works. Okay, let me go to this person here. I don't know how to, Aristar, I hope I'm pronouncing, Aristas, I think. Anyway, she is a Cancer born on July 17th. And let me tell you this. The one thing about me that I was blessed with my parents is when you make a mistake, own up to it. I keep saying that John D. Rockefeller was born on the 17th of July because I was hot in the 17s like J.P. Morgan. It's actually born on the 17th. No, John D. Rockefeller was actually born on the 8th of July, not the 17th. But 1 plus 7 is 8. So I stand corrected, okay? So for those of you who are checking my math, checking my birthdays, I got you. No, I got me. I realized I made a mistake when only one of my reels was put up. My reel was put up, and I was, because I never listened to my shows. I never listened to myself. But what happens is when I heard it, I says, no, he's not born on the 17th. He is a Cancer, but he's not on the 17th. He's on the 8th. So anyway, getting back to you. So your numbers there are the 8, 2, and 7. So it tells me things were very important for you at age 2, age 7, age 8, age 11, age 16 and 17, age 20 and 25 and 26 and 29. You know what I'm saying? And as long as those ages keep adding up to it, then I can say, well, the year that was very important to you was definitely 1991, okay? 1995, 1996. No, was it? No, 1996, 1997, because those years was the 7 and the 8. Then I can say the year 2009, which is 11. So as long as those years add up to your ages, it's good. I mean, don't forget, all this I'm doing in my head. I don't have no calculators. I'm not reading my book. I got it here to show you where you can get the information from. But all this is in my head. And so that's how I like to teach my students. Because once you get it here, it is hard to take away. That's why it's very important what you fall asleep on at night. Edgar Cayce, the famous sleeping prophet, would fall asleep on his books. And when he would wake up, he would remember everything in that book. Okay. Now we're not all blessed to be that lucky where I could fall asleep on my book and it don't work like that. But that was his gift. We all got gifts. The point is finding out what your gifts are. By the way, much older men are always drawn to you, my dear. Always, it's not your fault. And your name, at least the comment name you got, will draw the younger men to you at the same time. So the birthday older, the name younger. So I would say sometimes you might wake up and say, girl, what's going on? But if so, your lucky numbers again are the 8, 2, and 7. Your best days are always on a Saturday and a Friday, followed by Monday. Those are always your best days. It goes backwards. You should say, well, is it Monday, Friday, Saturday? No. Yours goes in the opposite direction. Saturday's first, Friday's second, then Monday is in the third position. All righty. So that's it. Okay. Let me see what we got here. I see it's almost at the witching hour. I'm going to take 2 more. And by the way, on Monday's show, I'm going to have Jazz Aphrodite talking about her a PowerPoint presentation because she took my stuff to a whole nother level. So if I brag about it, yes, I'd brag about anybody that gets me 6,000 students in 93 countries around the world. Are you serious? Yes, I would. You would too. But you're going to have to pay. When you got people of her level, they don't come cheap. And even then, she's giving a discount. So anyway, I'm going to read this person and one more. Sproul. My name is Angela. Birthday is January the 26th. Her daughter, Morgan, is July the 11th. All right. So you are an Aquarius 7. Okay, Angela. Excuse me, an Aquarius 8. And your lucky numbers are the 8, 4, and 1. And so it tells me that ages 4, 8, 10, 13, 17, 19, 22, 26, 28, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As long as it keep going to a 1 or a 4 or an 8, that's your ages. Then you were born in 1967. So I'll start 1981, 1984, 1988, 1980. 1989 or no 1990 1993 1997. Those all add up to age and then on up to the future. Your daughter though is very, very psychic. She's very intuitive. Her key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So that means her best days are always on a Monday and a Friday, where your best days are on a Saturday first, followed by a Sunday, then a Monday. So Monday is the day you and your daughter share in common. All righty. And and it's interesting. She was born in 2007, which means July, August, September, October. That means you conceived her in October of 2006, which is none of my business. But if you add 2006 when you conceived her, that was the year of the 8, which matched your year. And the fact that 2024 or 2024 is coming up, which is an 8, that cycle is coming back around for you again. Not that you want to have another daughter, okay? But what I'm saying is there's some big things in store for you because everything is cyclical. Women know this. This is why you'll be looking for Aunt Flo every month. You know what I'm saying? Is she on time? Is she late? You know what I'm saying? Because we all got cycles. Guys look for March Madness. Now guys are looking for the baseball game. Then we'd be looking for the football games and stuff like that. So we all got cycles as well as cycles of the seasons and cycles of life. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to take one more and I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to take Elizabeth. Okay. She is born March the 3rd, James Brown's birthday, the singer James Brown. Okay. Her numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. A lot of 3, 6, and 9, so it's easy. So I know that ages 3, 6, and 9, age 12, 15, 18, age 21, 24, 27. And so those years. Although, and notice you were born in 1983, and that adds to 21, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So so those things would be very important. So I would start with the year like maybe 1986 when you were 3 years old, 1989 when you were 6 years old, then 1992 when you were this years old, 12 years old, or whatever the case is. Everything is cyclical. It is in my book, Numbers and You, a numerology guide for everyday living, on page 162. So I just thought I would do something different. But again, I wanted to honor these beautiful, beautiful sisters, that they should be an inspiration to all of you. All of you. Okay. Let me get the comments out the way a second and show you. So again, my hat goes off to Coco. Congratulations, young lady. You deserve it. And again, don't be hating on the sister. You can't want for something and not want it for yourself. So if you want to be successful on your own level, in your own way, wish this sister all the blessings she really deserved. And she worked for it too. You think they just gave it to her? But a lot of times we want to talk that talk and don't put in the work. Well, talk is cheap. At least that's how I grew up as a kid. Talk is cheap. So if you put in the work, as you see like she did, maybe you'll get a $3 million check too. Okay, but right now she's going to be everybody's new best friend. Trust me. And then last but not least, Simone Biles, who she just knocked it out the ballpark. they didn't think she would come back either, but they failed to see how many threes she had in her name. She had 3 threes in her name, and plus she was a master number 11-2 person. All right, visionary, things of that nature. And I'm so happy she's married to a beautiful, beautiful brother too. I'm very happy for it, and we all need to be happy for it. I don't know why this thing of misery love company runs through our community rampant, and then we want to know why we're not getting anywhere. I'm saying, y'all take a break, loosen up. It's not that serious, okay? But it's serious if we tend to keep continuing to have this attitude about why they got it, why I don't. You want for others what you want for myself. And I'm so glad I was blessed with nice parents. Okay. So anyway, I'm just spreading the word. I taught my kids the same thing. All right. They have no choice when they're dealing with me. Okay. Because I'm their pops. And that's how I roll up in my household. Okay. So anyway, you'll all have a nice day. You'll take good care of yourselves. Love you much, very, very much. And thank you so much for all the people that tune in every week, support me every week. And get the thumbs up, because if not, I got to hear from my moderators. So get the thumbs up so I don't have to hear it. They say, Lloyd, good job. And I can say thanks, and then I'll figure out what's next. Okay. So thank you all very, very much. And I will see you on Monday. And I have my wonderful guest, Jazz Aphrodite. And you'll see why she's a wonderful guest and why I talk about her so much, because she gets results. And that's what counts.